So Andy, let's do this. I will give a brief like 10, 15 minutes maximum, and then maybe we can have a dialogue. That's a better way to engage with everyone. So I think most of you know, but I'll have to repeat for some of those who don't know. I come from grew up in a small family, in like a small town in Jangaon, which is in between Hyderabad and Warangal. So it's a town, not a small village. It was an old taluk. Now it has become a district. And so when I was growing up, there were 4 high schools in up to 10th grade. In high school in India, in where we are, there are 4, up to 10th. Then you used to have a junior college, 11th and 12th. So there were 4 high schools and 1 junior college. So all Telugu medium. That time I didn't have opportunity to study in English medium, and all 4 were also two government schools, and 2 of them were aided by government. So my father, so the big thing that happened is, my father was a teacher, so he was a first generation educated in our family, and that was a blessing because of his education. I mean, we could come this far. So I that's why I actually, when I meet all the people who are first generation, I don't have words to describe the challenges they go through and the hardship they have to go through to get to anywhere, right? I mean, very, very humbling when I see any first generation educated. So my father, he has a long story to even get to 10th grade. He had to, at that time, this is before, just before, independence. If you call it, India, we have a lot of questions on what happened with, Hyderabad province. But if you call it until 1948, September 17th, it was under Nizam's rule. So my father was was born in a Nizam's era. Just to give you an idea of the things that we take for granted today, to get to 10th grade, he had to study. There was no education. There was no high school at that time in Jangaon. And there was no Telugu medium. He could only study English medium and Urdu medium. So he had to study Jangaon, Bongir, and Warangal. 3 cities, 3 mediums. It's a long story if I tell, but just to get to 10th grade, he had so much struggle. So that is the thing that some of our predecessors went through to get to education. Okay, and whatever his struggles, we didn't have to go through that. At least we had access to school, whatever the shape they were in. So I studied basically in. There was upper primary school nearby my home, and then Jilla Parishad High School. Then I had to, there were 4 high schools I told. I ended up studying in 3 high schools because there was not a composite math teacher in any of these. I ended up in actually the last 2 years it's a Christian missionary school funded by government, and there was a good math teacher. So I ended up, even though it was a little farther, I ended up studying there. So just to give an idea, for a composite math teacher, you couldn't access it. Okay? That was the status. But I think I believe there is always you have. I don't believe in genes per se, but you're blessed with some whatever little bit of brain sometimes. And then I was doing well in my school. That, of course, my father was a teacher. That helps a lot. Then I was a headmaster and all that. Then I went to 12th grade in junior college there. And, every year we used to get my entire town of probably that time 1 lakh people, 100,000. 1 engineering and 1 medical seat. We are talking in 84. If some people can relate to that, there were entire Andhra Pradesh, together, Telangana and now Andhra Pradesh together, we had 7 government engineering colleges total in Andhra Pradesh. And then there were, 84, there were 15 private engineering colleges. Okay. So it was a pretty challenging and tough competition. So every year, my town, we used to get one engineering, one medical seat. So that was, me that year. And with, of course, I got it in reservation, BC reservation in Usmania University. So that was a big breakthrough, which I didn't expect. I was very, very surprised and delighted when I first saw my rank in REC Warangal. I vividly remember that moment that I still couldn't believe what I got because I was nowhere close to, because, just to give you an idea of some of those, just to can relate, how competitive people used to, like, even in Warangal, you had these coaching centers, even in Hyderabad, of course, which is very close. I did not even, my second year maths, my lecturer did not even complete half the syllabus. He used to come from Hyderabad and go. He did not even complete. That's why second year maths, I got only 50% in my intermediate examination. Just imagine, maths, you get 50% marks. Where will you get an engineering seat? But what happened is I was in Warangal for 45 days and I got some extra help and all that in that 45 days. Made a huge difference in my life, to give you, perspective. When I first went to write, they put a test on all the, I'm sharing because this is the biggest thing that happened, is a big breakthrough, they gave a test when I first went after 12th, I wrote exams and then I went to Warangal. So maths, physics and chemistry, I had a good teachers, good lecturers. So I didn't have to, and if anybody knows, Kadiyam Srihari was my teacher. He's the deputy chief minister. He became later. He taught me chemistry in Jandam. Some of you know Kadiyam Srihari.
Yes.
So I did okay with chemistry, physics, but English, like maths, I got 11 out of 50 marks. So if you get 11 out of 50, you wouldn't ever think that you will ever get an engineering seat, right? So, but I'll tell you, sometimes those 45 days, actually, my mother, father came and stayed with me. They didn't send me to Guntur. It was a very popular place. Kids used to go Hyderabad, kids, but my, parents were caring and they came and stayed with me. And my mother used to make chai for me every 1 hour, 2 hours. So those 45 days of studying made a huge difference. And from 11, I got 33 in my final when I wrote the real exam. Okay, means half of the syllabus I didn't know. Okay, just to give you. So the lesson is never give up. Okay, never give up. I was very, very low when I first got the 11 marks. Okay, but never give up. You believe in yourself, and things start falling in place. The time, you have to wait for the time. A lot of times, you're trying, but there may not be the right time. So you have to, if you keep trying, the time will come and will succeed. That is one lesson I always learned. Okay. But anyway, so the engineering, that was the biggest breakthrough. But after that, going to Usmania, I struggled a lot, being coming from a rural village. I hardly went to Hyderabad, even though it's 90 kilometers from Jangaon. Hardly went twice, probably. I never stayed even one night. Maybe we went to a marriage or came back. We didn't have big social structures. Or any relatives or anybody in Hyderabad that you could spend time, even though it's only 90 kilometers. Okay, not that far. But it was very overwhelming. At that time, half of the kids used to come from Hyderabad city, from all these like Hyderabad public school to Little Flowers, Chaitanya. They are the popular top, and of course Usmania was one of the best colleges at that time in engineering. So you would attract some of the best kids. And so in, how unwelcoming our, colleges. I should tell you this. Everybody knows that you are from reservation. Everybody can, I couldn't speak one English sentence without grammatical error at that time. I mean, I was, decent student, so I could read and write, but I couldn't speak. That was a big barrier. So then, the way you dress, the way you, everybody knows, you're somebody, came from a rural background, on a reservation, and, studied Telugu medium and all that. So it was, my goal was to, getting to engineering was a biggest thing, biggest achievement. And from there, I just pass engineering and go to basically a government job. That was my thinking horizon at that time. I was not thinking anything beyond that. Okay. And it was, to be honest with you, I was only 16-year-old when I went to college. I skipped one class, second grade, which I wouldn't recommend doing to anybody. So I was also very, very, young, and it was overwhelming actually. So now I can relate to all the kids who struggle in these IITs, IIScs, IIMs. It gets overwhelming, for kids coming from marginalized backgrounds and all that. So it took basically second year, first sem. I did okay in the first year, nothing, extraordinary. I mean, decent student, but I was nowhere I thought I would compete in, to be on the top. But everything changed when in second year, first semester, out of 5 courses, I got 200% marks, okay? Which is not a small thing actually at that time. So that triggered, you basically gave me confidence that you could basically also compete, right? You could also compete. That made, and along with that, see, one of the things, important thing I, especially for those younger generation who are here, a success is not one individual success. If anybody says that, that is arrogance, okay, pure arrogance. If you are successful, there is a lot of people, a lot of things that contribute to one individual success, okay? So I mean, all along the way, I was blessed to have some of the best people around me who made a difference. And because of that, today I'm successful to an extent. So I am, that gratitude you should have, okay? Especially for the younger generation. It is a very good virtue and value to have. Please practice. Don't be arrogant about achievement of whoever helped you. I mean, today you might have passed that stage and those might look very small today, but you could never, because at that time, at that moment, unless somebody helped you, you wouldn't have crossed that, stage to go to next stage. So this is an important virtue and value I would suggest, practice. So, I met one very good friend who happened to be from city, and he had roots in the rural village. I mean, but he grew up, and his name is Pratap Rao. Actually, I introduced him when my daughters, so some of you attended. It was a big boon that I met him, and his brother was already in America, and this fellow was one of the bright student. He was actually a topper in my class, and it so happened I mean he connected with me, and that made a huge difference. Today I'm in America because of that individual actually, who in spite of my other, he recognized and he used to encourage me to, hey, you can also perform, you can also study. And he's the one I had no idea about coming to America, because his brother was already there. He knew everything and he was planning. And he basically said, you can also go to America. I mean, who would do that, right? I mean, so what I learned in the process is people have these mental blocks, okay? Your condition. See, I was conditioned, getting to engineering college was a big deal. It's, and that's it. After that, you don't even have that thinking horizon. So that mental block, you need to remove. For all the people, this I practice. I want to achieve this thing, then you will achieve. Maybe you fail, you success, but at least your goal has to be much higher. So, that time, we used to be like all the kids who came from, we used to be in the hostel, about 30 people in the hostel, 30 people used to come from, it was like a, line drawn in our class. And none of us could think about it. But from the hostel, I was the first one to come to America. And of course, there are a few other people who could come later. But it was that mental block somebody helped me remove. Hey, you can also do it. It's a huge thing, okay? It's not material help or any other, those things, do. But somebody telling you that, you can do something that, that made a huge difference in me. When I decided to come to America, at least at that time in Hyderabad, if anybody knew, it was not a big deal. You are in one of these 7 engineering colleges that time in Hyderabad, and you wanted to come to America, you could come. So that's how conducive that environment was. So my journey to America became such a cakewalk. I can't even explain how easy it was. So let me, I went to Usmania, then I finally ended up, graduating with one of the, top 10 student. Then I did my GATE. I did really well. I got all IITs and IISc. And that time there was no reservation. In OBC reservation came in 2007, 8 time frame. So there was no OBC reservation. So basically I got in, general category, and I went to IISc. I did my master's there. So that after that, it was academically, it was not at all anything that I would say it was a straightforward journey. Then I came to United States to apply for PhD. I luckily got a full scholarship. So I went to Old Dominion University, Norfolk, Virginia, which is actually not many people might know it. It's a probably 100th rank, but I had a very good experience because my professor was a young presidential investigator awardee, and we were very close to NASA Langley Research Center, which is 15 miles, and we used to have a lot of projects from there. After my 1 year of coursework, I used to spend time at NASA. All my thesis I did at NASA. So that was a very good experience, even though the university. And, and in America, there are so many good schools, actually. And average, there are 4,000 universities here. My bold statement is, at 2,000 universities, you don't miss an IIT education, I'm telling you. IISc being one of the top institute in India, I had a better experience at Old Dominion than in University of Science. In academically and the kind of, change. So then I decided to go into industry, and 15 years I spent automotive industry, and I quickly climbed the managerial ladder. And then I ended up, Bose Corporation in Boston recruited me out of Detroit. I used to be at Detroit about 9 years. Then I came to Boston to work for Bose Automotive, Bose Corporation Automotive Division. Then, these are some of the things that you never expect. The going to MIT was again, I was probably luckiest person that the things that happened, everything came together, I came to Bose. At that time, MIT wouldn't offer any, what do you call, a part-time or an executive MBA. There was only 1 year full-time program called Sloan Fellows Program. So I negotiated with Bose that I want to do an MBA, if I am recruited. So they accepted to sponsor me. But the challenge was, there's great institutions in MIT and Harvard in Boston, but they don't offer anything that I could do, while working. But, luck, is on you sometimes. I'm checking every day because otherwise, if some of you know, I would have to go to, travel to one of these, Wharton, Kellogg's. I wanted to do one of the good universities. I would have, like, to Chicago, Duke, and these are all offered executive MBA at that time. But one day I'm checking, MIT opened up a new program that allowed, if you're in Boston area, the same program you could do, in 2 years instead of 1 year, if you're in the Boston area. So it was, then I applied and, I got in. I'll tell you one value you should have is the perseverance, okay? It's a story. So what happened is I joined in 2003 January, and this program started in 2004 June. Okay, so you should apply 2003 December. So I joined in January, and so I wanted to apply, and I was only 1 year at Post Corporation, and then this program required 3 months of full time. You have to be on the campus full time 3 months. That's non-negotiable. So I applied, and my boss said, "Come on, you just did 1 year here. You want to go for 3 full months?" He said, "I cannot accept it." Okay, and he said, "No, you apply for one of these executive MBAs or part-time MBAs. We'll pay for it, but I cannot give you 3 months leave." Then I said, no, this is MIT. I want to do it MIT. He said, no. Then 1 year I persevered with all my management. Okay. So there were 7 vice presidents in Post Corporation. So 3 of them had approved. I went and, I just begged, requested, everything I did, okay, to get 3 of them approved. And I got the next year, 3 months vacation. They gave me full time, to go and study. So this is a thing that I learned. If you believe in something, you have to really, really persevere. Don't give up things. I mean, not to the point that you severe relationship, but if you're doing something good, something meaningful, something that is not selfish, okay, people would accept it, and the circumstances will change and things will change. So you have to persevere. This is a lesson I learned from that. So that's actually a journey. I can go over. I'll tell you another thing, how I ended up the SourceTrance. This is, I was, passionate about doing something socially meaningful. So what I did is, after 2009, I was there for 7.5 years at Bose, and I learned, some things at MIT Sloan. I wanted to apply, and also what I did is I wrote a thesis on Indian microfinance. Okay, Indian microfinance as part of my MBA program. And what happened is I went to India because that time I have zero knowledge because I never worked in India. I never did anything. Okay, after school I came here. I don't understand anything about rural economy, agriculture. I'm completely. So that helped a lot. I went and talked to a number of people. I studied. I wrote a thesis. So I thought of doing something socially meaningful. Then I quit the job, went and started doing something. Some of you know there's a Mulkanur cooperative in Karimnagar, which is one of the, like after Amul, everybody knows Amul, right? Amul is a dairy cooperative. It's a few $billion now, one of the most successful cooperative. But after it started right around the time in Karimnagar district of Telangana, called Mulkanur. P.V. Narasimha Rao village is also part of that. So it used to be one of the wonderful cooperative. Telangana, probably the Telangana agitation and all that, because of farmer distress. We had a severe problem with agriculture. And that's one of the main reasons that Telangana movement occurred. But in all this, uh, Mulkanur Cooperative used to stand out. It's one of the, like oasis in a desert type of a thing. 19 villages, one of the best cooperatives. So I studied a lot. I knew some people who worked at it. So I wanted to do something along those lines, but for profit company. So that's how I started building a seed producing company in Warangal. But I ran into so many problems with, building a seed plant, real estate, mafia, legal cases. So there's a big list of things that I could write a book one day. So I somehow, I just gave up on that. And then this present company, actually, I'm not the founder. Technically, I'm not the founder. It was an existing company that built mobile applications when, even this, if you people know the GPRS data, Blackberries, very little data was available at that time before Android, iPhone existed. This company started, okay, in 2006-7 time frame. And it was very pioneering in that sense. You could, take a mobile, not a computing device in any field in the any remote areas, and you could basically, digitize a lot of processes, right? That was very powerful. So very little data was available, but they started building some custom devices, even started like Microsoft Windows to BlackBerry to Nokia phones to um, uh, some of the very phone, and these guys used to have some custom devices to, that time it was not standardized, right? After Android, iPhone came, a lot changed. So the company started around that time, and about they were really strong founders. The CTO came from MIT Computer Science PhD. Then the CEO is a Stanford undergrad and a Berkeley MBA, and another founder was Stanford undergrad. Their classmates, and Harvard Kennedy School government. So these three founders started that company. But it was, after 5 years, about $7-8 million burn. It was not going anywhere. So I was actually an advisor to one of the lead investor in this company for a number of years, and they came to me, and I ended up evaluating and telling them they were focusing on microfinance at that time, and which was, if some people know, in India it crashed microfinance and it caused a lot of grievances to a lot of people, and worldwide there was a big issue. So I told them, because I learned agriculture by then, 3.5 years, I was working grassroots level. So I thought that this could be a great application in, if you apply to agriculture. So that's a recommendation I gave. And then some of the, the main lead investor know me for a number of years. And he also knows, they came to me because I was at MIT doing this, research, Indian microfinance, and then I also was at Bose Corporation, and they knew about. By then, I was pretty, deeply involved in Telangana movement actually. So they know that I have a strong grassroots level knowledge. So they started a fund to invest in technology companies which do the social entrepreneurship. It's a boutique small fund they started, and they needed help to understand, if there was an investment they want to make, they used to ask me, and I used to give my opinion. I used to talk to the CEO and all that. So that relationship basically led me to this, and one thing they decided is they want to invest, but they didn't want to deal with the existing management. I mean, there was some mismanagement issues. So they purely, they asked me if I could come and run the company. So that's how I ended up in this company. I'm not technically the founder of the company. So this is another, value that you should not always. I mean, these three guys are gems, right? We're talking MIT Computer Science, PhD, Stanford, Harvard. That fellow used to be a Fairtrade USA chief operating officer who became a CEO of my company, the earlier version of my company. But they removed all those and gave me the company because they knew my values, okay? This is the only reason they gave me. They knew for close to 7-8 years, they knew about me. So it's an important thing that people have. There's a lot of shortcuts to success. Um, Please don't do that. Okay, if any younger generation is there, it's not lasting. It is not. You might feel satisfied. You might feel good, but you maintain your value system, your integrity. That'll come back to you at some point. Okay. So purely this company, they gave me an existing company and investors brought me and they put more money because, of my value system. I've enough degrees to do it, but if you put me against that team, I'm not, a great match. But in spite of that, they gave me the company. So this is an important thing that I want to tell younger generation. Yeah, please stick to your value system. Even the success might come a little longer, but that is what is important. It will be long lasting. I think I'll stop there. It took just that's been my journey professionally. We can talk a little bit about activism, but let me stop there if anybody has any questions. Okay.
Venkat garu, we don't know about NASA. You worked at NASA. That was a surprise to us.
Yeah. I worked at NASA. I didn't put it.
Oh, that's good. That's great. Okay.
I worked on supercomputers at that time. Cray, XMP, YMP were, very, very expensive if you were a private company to access. Okay.
Okay.
So if anyone wants to see, I did this computational mechanics. Okay. And I did the design optimization. So it used to run on Cray YMP. My job used to run 8 hours, 10 hours. And I used to make a small mistake, and everything is gone. So my professor used to say, do you know how much money you burned if you were to pay for this? So yeah, I had a great experience in my PhD.
Okay. So I have a couple of questions if
please.
I know Rajaram also before me raised the hand. But anyway, first is, in your opinion, did executive MBA or whatever you did it really make a difference?
Okay, so what happens is absolutely yes. So today I became entrepreneur just because of that MBA only. I told you the company, the connection I got into this venture capital guy when I was at MIT only. I was doing this thesis, and I was. We're talking go back in the frame 2006-7, right? Still, our rural economy was hardly anything modern thing was touching a rural economy. You had mobile phones started coming up, okay, but nothing except microfinance, nothing modern. The banking was in such a low. The access to banking was a big deal. That's why the microfinance came, and that's the only thing that modern economy was touching, or well organized thing. So when I wrote the thesis just to understand rural, I also was completely I didn't know anything. So that time, what happened is UPS, emerging markets, right? UPS had big plans because India is growing, right? I mean, we have seen from 2006-7 now how much India has grown. So they all want to play in that. So they wanted to understand how to go into India, how to understand rural economy. So they basically got interested in my work. And UPS is in Atlanta, right, headquarters. So their emerging markets division funded my project also for my travel and everything in India. Then they told, when this new venture capital fund came into existence, to focus on technology, but serving the bottom of the pyramid. Okay. So this fund, they told about me, the UBS Emerging Markets guys.
You got muted.
Muted.
Just a minute.
Okay.
I think I'm getting I'm in a mobile. Sorry. So I got a call out of the blue, and they said, we heard about you, your work, and blah blah blah, and we are interested to work with you. And that is the reason I'm, and they are the lead investor in the present company. So that's how I ended up getting into this company. So it all because of that MIT and what I did at MBA. I mean, the things don't look right away. You may not have a big difference. Don't have that expectation if you do an MBA or executive, especially in the mid-career. Don't expect anything to change drastically. But in the long run, yes, absolutely. The most important thing is the network. Okay.
Yeah. One last question I have. Probably on behalf of, especially if anyone from India who are doing college, how did you deal with the situations where fellow students around you knew that you are from a particular background, and you come from a place which is not like a Hyderabad city, and your background? That's the challenge most of people from not so, or to put it in a broader way, oppressed or that category. Is there any input you want to give so that they carry the confidence and not have a sort of inferiority complex? Because when I did my engineering, I did see bunch of guys I knew. They were from SCSTs, OPC background. They did not have that kind of confidence or anything. Socially, they were not intermingling, although a lot of people, I had all kind of friends. So what is your advice to such students to be confident, not hesitate to interact with other folks?
Actually, you asked me if I have to tell in my whole journey, that was the most difficult time when I first 1.5 year in Osmania University. Like I said, I was 16-year-old. Okay, so you're going through this adolescence, and I was literally studying with 2 to 3 year older kids. Okay, and because also at that time half of them used to come with after second attempt. We had third attempts. I know 3-4 guys, even one guy finished a BSc and joined engineering. Okay, so that is one thing, and you are absolutely right. The biggest challenge I had was English. Okay, I just couldn't speak one English sentence properly. And in my class, I used to sit in the back bench, go to hotel hostel, and sit in. Of course, hostel, we had a good environment. So to give an idea, actually, Osmania is a much better environment. Osmania University for the rural kids, it was I would say heaven at that time. We had beautiful hostels at that time. It is a luxury. Okay, I'm telling you, and we had great food and great social. I mean, all the SC/ST OBCs. This is one sad thing, is half of the class come from, because it's Hyderabad big city, come from city. They are open category English medium, urban convent type of people. We had exceptions. One guy from rural area came, an open category, and only one person used to stay in hostel. But otherwise, we were all like reservation, Telugu medium, rural area. So it was, so in the hostel, we had a very good camaraderie. And then another important thing I want to tell you, a lot of people, when I
became, at least active in Ambedkarism, a lot of people used to ask, oh, I mean, sorry, I have to tell you this because it's not anything, technical, I'm an OBC, right? How you are so, where we were in Usmania University, we never had this. All reservation guys, we used to have such a good camaraderie. Okay, never ever caste was an issue. Of course, the reservation, non-reservation, that's the only discussion we used to have. And in that, all SC/ST OBC, we were like one. Slightest issue we never had. We never. So naturally, this thing came to me when I, wanted to started thinking about this anti-caste movement and all that, attract towards Ambedkarism. So, Mahesh, to tell you the truth, that is one of those very difficult situations. But a place like Usmania is a much better support system you have. But I also studied in the University of Science, Bangalore. My heart goes to all the people who come to these IITs, our kids, especially SC/ST background. It's a big culture that Indian psyche has to change. It's such an unfair and unwelcoming, brutal atmosphere. We have a long ways to go and change that. Okay, and that was actually one of the things we try to do. This was very near to me, this issue. That Insight Foundation, I got involved in 2006-07. If some people here know Anup, who is running the Nalanda Academy, he was the one actually at the JNU. So we try to do, I mean, he used to run a magazine. I can tell more about it, but that was run by students. So I helped them organize, and we created a formal foundation, registered. We did this magazine with the reporter because he had a connection with all these, he was at JNU and he had a group of friends. And then if you know anybody, Gyanendra Kumar used to be part of that team. He is now a scientist in a pharmaceutical company in the Bay Area. So I got involved for a couple of years to do exactly build a support system for especially these so-called elite but very bad schools that we have. So it is a challenge, Mahesh. I was lucky to get out of it, but not easy for a lot of people.
Yeah, I hope the support system spreads in especially IITs and IIMs.
Oh, horrible. Yeah.
Yeah, because we have seen all this right from, unfortunately.
Yeah, you might have noticed it, right? When you studied, probably you came from, Hyderabad urban, and you might have seen all these kids.
Yeah,
they have a 50% reservation in, right? Even in Matrusri.
Yeah.
Imagine the similar, you saw this from the other side, right? Yeah.
Exactly. In the private colleges, it's even more difficult for our people to cope up, because most of the not so well achieving who come from donation boast of something. The only way I could deal with it was to achieve, get, excel, and then you
correct.
basically shut their mouth.
Yeah.
See,
in that context, I want to tell one when I started actually, when I came to United States, was doing my PhD, actually I hardly could, if I go and talk to my classmate in engineering, even in my master's, I was hardly even like visible anywhere. Okay. I was socially, friendly, but I was nowhere, anywhere in any leadership. Okay. Because I was, like you talked about inferiority and all that. Everything changed. I came to United States. I owe a lot to this country, how open and how free, how welcoming, and it changed a lot actually. And I feel sad that I still don't take citizenship of United States. It's a moral dilemma I have. But I'll tell you, one day, I mean, if I have to tell here, but I did extremely well in my, college here. I was a, like straight A student. I had a 4.0 GPA in my, PhD, and I was doing really well. So one day, one classmate of mine who came from JNTU, he was also doing PhD, and he was considered, he did masters also at the same place, and he was considered very bright and, student, okay? But he became good friends. We ended up at the same professor, and this fellow became a good friend of mine. He used to be actually he used to bully a lot of other because he's doing well and all that. He had this attitude, but somehow he became a good friend of mine, okay? One day, we were talking, this is almost 1 year later, there was some discussion came, and then we talked about, then I told I used my reservation to get into Osmania University, engineering college. And believe it or not, he could not believe I am a reservation candidate.
Yeah, I'm sure he would have thought you are lying.
Yeah, I took very offensive. What the hell you're talking, man? I said, yes, I am a reservation candidate. So this fellow just couldn't believe. Then that is actually one of the big trigger to openly, vocally, I started talking about my identity, actually talking about identity. So I said, what the hell, I came all the way struggling to this far. And I'm like anybody or doing better than anybody, at least in my where I was, at that time. Why the hell I shouldn't speak for my communities, right? Because we are the symbols, these guys are, I mean, the knowledge and talent is there everywhere in every, just, people are lacking opportunity. So that really changed. And I became very vocal about speaking. I mean, that time I was not hardly anything sensitized about caste or anything yet. This is just, I was a student. This happened much later. I mean, to be honest with you, I read Kancha Ilaya's book in 97. My brother, that time there was no internet. So my brother sent me this book that really, really influenced. And then technically, I can say, when I started working in Telangana movement and started interacting with this Telugu organization, then I realized how filthy this caste is in this diaspora. And then I started discovering, Ambedkar, Phule, that type. So it's very late, but that situation, triggered. So these guys have this stereotypical people. That's why my suggestion to you is, wherever you are, don't be shy, especially those who are in America. Don't be shy about who you are. This country, if anybody treats you badly, we can go against them and put them in jail, okay? Any discrimination. So be bold. And the fact that you came here this far, studied here, or working in a company, you are proven. You are second to none. And be bold about your identity, okay? And we also have now big support system. Like we have all these organizations. We have so don't be shy about your identity. That's all I would say.
Thank you.
Yeah. So Andy, you're muted, Andy.
Yes, Rajaram garu. Yes, Rajaram.
Hello, Venkat.
Yeah.
Mahendra.
Please.
Okay.
Hey, this is Mahendra.
Mahendra ji, Jai Bhim. Yeah.
Jai Bhim. I have a comment actually. You're talking about the support system in IIT and IEM. So I think like that support system may be lacking because of less number of students there, right? In the regional engineering colleges and other things, there's like whole bunch of students, so they have some power strength. So just take the case of my case. I'm from IIT. 1984
You are from
batch.
IIT, man. Hey, Mahendra, I have to tell you this great story. Mahendra ji comes from IIT BHU, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So wonderful. Go ahead.
So in the batch of 1984, I was the only student, SCST student, among the bunch of like 421 people.
So nobody joined at that time? Man.
That year, the selection was very
Even though
less.
we had a full reservation, SCST reservation, right?
Yeah, they did
Oh
not
my God.
qualify. Basically, from the Kanpur and Banaras zone, there were only 5 students got selected that year.
Wow.
And in my previous batch, there were only 7 students.
Yeah.
And there were 9 students from the in 82 batch. I think Rajesh is one of the product there, Rajesh Chandra from MD. And later on, like after me, there were 9 students. So that is the condition. So if you take the reservation, like 15% reservation of like 400, that makes like 60 students at least, right? There should be 60 SC students and maybe 21 ST student. So that is the condition, right? But luckily, like for me, the thing was like best thing was it was a local college for me basically. So and BHU is part of many other faculties. So before the discrimination or even ragging, those guys used to basically avoid the local students. And then there were many seniors from my school. So that's why I did not face any discrimination. Moreover, like I was topper in my school. So the
Yeah.
second rank holder from the school, he was also my classmate.
Oh.
So people knew that. And those days, at least in Roorkee, they used to publish the total number of mark sheets. And I was number 1 holder in the MNI, Motilal Nehru and
Yeah.
Roorkee. So that make like I don't have to worry about these guys whether I'm from the reservation category or not. I have my mark sheet, something like that, basically. But at the same time, for other folks, it's very difficult. If you don't have any support system, anybody who can support
Yeah.
in IITs, it's really difficult. So somehow we need to have the political influence to make them increase filling the number of seats.
But Mahendra ji, I am pretty surprised that time they didn't fill. But the situation I was expecting, the where we are in Osmania and Telugu states, right? We had a BC, it is a we call BC, backward class reservation, since late 70s. Okay, so we have, like I said, 50% reservation candidates. Okay, reservation. And we had such a great camaraderie between us. Then, we didn't have to really worry about, somebody harassing us or anything. It was just a very subtle, the problem I had was, I can't say anybody discriminated me, but everybody knows you're a reservation. Everybody knows you're a rural. So the whole atmosphere is such a way that you yourself, you feel that you may not be able to compete. There cannot be any open discrimination and all that. Impossible. I mean, you had such a great, even politically very charged atmosphere, so nobody could touch you from that aspect. So that way it was great, but it just, there was, not a very, especially when it's in academics and, other, sports, I just didn't do anything or any cultural activity. You're non-existent. So those are the leadership things, right? Those are the things you miss out, but nobody could dare to say or do anything to you. That type of support system is very well established. So I was hoping after this OBC reservation in IITs, at least now we have 50%, right? To OBC, SC, ST. But
that I don't know, because
the atmosphere hasn't changed a lot. Okay, yeah, unfortunately.
Yeah, this is the problem. Most of the folks in IIT are very good folks, actually. So I don't see that much problem like what happens in regional engineering colleges. So, but at the regional engineering college, the number of SC, ST, and OBCs are more. So at least they are protected somehow. Like for example, if you hear the story from Sanjay from Gorakhpur Engineering College, so like that's totally different story, right? But other drawback, other thing is like I want to tell you, like I think it happened in 1976 or 77. There was some kind of, I think some HRD minister or somebody was there from other category, and he enforced IIT to fulfill the seats. So there were like those days, like there were a lot of students used to come to IIT. But the problem is
now I think, at this stage, filling is not a problem. I mean, because people are, studying and all that. But once they get there, especially, like IITs like Chennai, they are like a bloody agraharams, okay? Even University of Science Bangalore, okay? It is so overwhelmingly Brahmin faculty, and it becomes very challenging. So we have a lot of work to do there. Okay, we have to.
Yes,
and
Mahesh,
the faculty.
Mahendra, we'll go to the next one here. We'll discuss. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Rajaram Garu, please go ahead, sir.
Hello, Jai Bhim to everyone.
Jai Bhim, yes.
Jai Bhim, Anna.
Jai Bhim, Venkana. Thank you for your information. Very inspiring. Lot of information. And one of the question already Mahesh Ji asked. So just I want to put other way around some same questions. So you are the second generation.
Yes.
From your family.
Correct.
Most of the second generation kids, once they will see good job, once you get because those days engineering means it's a big to the Bahujana community.
Yeah.
So what motivation drawn further education? If you won't stop there, then once you get the engineering wings, then you can go for the good. And another question, a lot of questions are there, but just I will give little bit, then you can.
Please. Go ahead.
Little bit of it. Apart from this, you're a good human being and down to earth to everybody. Because before that, I don't know. After joining the GNF, I came to know you and a couple of our friends and our Bojan community family. So, and what motivation and what we inspired it to become a hardcore Telanganite, the first one, then Ambedkarite. Apart from this, see a role model to present generation as a Bahujana community. So what all these motivated to become?
Yes, that's a good question.
Just little bit.
Elaborate. So Anna, this basically has roots in my parents. Okay. If I tell my parents, it will be our house. If you ask anybody from Jangam, those who know, it was like a dharmshala. Literally, Anna, literally. So I used to study. I mean, like I said, I because of my father, my struggles with people like you and all that, whose parents are illiterate, labor. I mean, I can't even compare. It was my father, and we had a wage earning. Anybody wage earning at that time is in a much better shape. Okay, so those are not my problems. But I used to have one big hall in the front. This is my grandfather built house, old house, and like 10 people are sitting in the room, and I used to sit in one corner and study. Okay, that's all. And that's how the life was. We always had people, and my mother, I should salute her. I mean, and now I realize because I do cooking now. That time, my mother used to cook like 20 people just like that, and we all used to do zero help. No, nothing. My mother didn't even let me do my underwear to wash until I went to engineering college. I learned, and then I stopped her to do my. So this mother, I mean, superhuman. I just don't have words to describe how they did it.
Exactly.
Every household work, plus she used to cook. There was no mixer, there's no grinder. We used to have a wooden stove. Wooden stove. I mean, very, very overwhelming. So
Oh,
the
very
start
tasty,
grade is my, yeah,
very
Anna.
tasty food. Very tasty food also. That's
Oh,
nice.
my mother is the best cook. I keep telling my Vijaya, the way even now she's little bit very like until 2 years old back, she used to cook especially fish and all that. Nobody can beat. Okay, anyway, so it was actually my parents. We learned. See, I grew up in the spirit of openness among the goldsmith community. Okay, about 100 families, very close knit families, and my father used to be like a leader, and my mother, I'll tell you, with my own, I might have attended 100, more than 100 marriages where my parents were actually driving the whole thing. They were standing there and they're performing the marriage. 200 deaths I might have seen very closely, going to the, cremation burial ground. And, it was it's a community thing, very close-knit community. So there, majority of them used to be just living, especially these people who do the goldsmith work, very marginal they were. And something happens in their family, one wage, they will be dropping to below poverty line, So they were hardly. So it's learned so much, from this community, and it was like everyday thing for us, So that taught me, those are the values actually still, resonate with me. So when I basically, I used to be like, I just couldn't speak one sentence. To that, what happened is at Old Dominion University, I ended up, doing a 3-day national convention of Speak Meke. If anybody now, I hate that, but it's this Speak Meke is if you're in any IIT, any school in India, you would know it. It's a Society for the Promotion of Indian Classical Music and Culture among youth. That time I just wanted to do something for India all the time, and this is one organization, one friend, we just started, and I ended up leading a 2.5-day convention in a small town, Norfolk. Probably there was no. So that is, I was like 24, 25 at that time. Okay. So changed my, the leadership back, the capabilities and this opportunity that is available in the, America. And I never looked back on that. So when I learned and I got, what you call power and energy that I could do something, I always stood on the side of the, injustice. I wanted to fight for, justice. So when Telangana thing happened, it was very natural. I could, relate to it. I could see what was happening, and very close. And this Professor Jaishankar was my father's friend, and he came here. They were with me for 1 week. If anybody knows.
So your Professor Jaishankar also from your town, right?
Yeah, I mean Warangal, but he's a Telangana guy, right? He's like
right. I know.
But we brought him to United States in 2000. This is much before even KCR came and started the party. So just to talk about the underdevelopment, the farmer suicides, and it was in a really bad shape, right? So they used to come, and he's the first one came and talked to us, and that's where I got sensitized. And it was very natural because it was close to where I lived, came from. I could relate, and then we started working. And then when I started, that was my first public life. Okay, I didn't do much. I used to be active in Indian Student Association, this, that, but nothing, anything big. So then what happened is I started working there. Then I started interacting with these Telugu organizations. This ATA I went once. I could not believe the kind of a caste. I've never seen anything in my life. Because when I growing up also, I have not seen Anna. In Telangana, we were blessed. When we were growing up, there was hardly caste discussion, if you remember or not. It existed at a power structure.
I can understand because I attended one of the conference I'm the only one piece from this Bahujana community.
Exactly, Anna. So it was
of course, I did not ask anybody.
Yeah, go ahead.
Of course, I did not ask anybody what caste you are, but they might know what I am. But
yeah, they will try to figure out, and it's all uncle, brother,
yeah.
brother-in-law. That's a discussion goes on. So it is horrible.
Right.
So if you have any self-respecting guy, you cannot stand there. That is what it is. Okay? Thoda bhi, yeah. So that happened, and then in Telangana movement also, when we were working, like there were no titles, nothing, organization. We were just we formed Telangana Development Forum. Then when it started getting, growing big, then we saw all these, communities coming, and all these dominant communities. And at some point, we had a issue with Reddy's ganging up against everybody else to, form a new executive committee. That was against, we formed one, the consensus, and they bulldozed it. And I just couldn't tolerate that, And I was very small at that time, little 37, I think I was. And we had not even handful of people supporting us, But me and actually my brother ended up having a big fight. We just couldn't tolerate. And then we had, of course, this all ATA people came and in support of them. Then we ended up going out and starting a new organization. We just and then we had every community, including Reddy's, including Velmas, including SC, STB. We formed this Telangana NRI Association, and we ran it for at a really big level in during Telangana movement.
Yeah,
so that was the trigger.
A small interruption. For that one, we are everybody, those who are in GNF, or all so many groups are there, because you guys, we are very, very thankful to you guys.
Yeah, we were only like not even 10 people we were counting on. Rai was a new thing. Rai was a big supporter. He came and we had a handful of people. And now I look back, how did we do that?
Every night, Venkana, every night I used to work and coming home, and just it's like the people, those days, the laborers comes from the Andhra, so the construction laborers, that we are going and working and coming home, then it's home. Just anybody we called, okay, we are performing puja, can you come? Just we used to go there and come back again. And while sleeping, I'm alone in this country. When I joined in this GNF, I'm not alone.
Anna, you knew Google. You didn't use the Google, Anna. You choose not to use it. Hey, Anna, you were there since.
We'll go to the next. Mahesh.
Okay. Thank you.
Brother
Thank
Mahesh.
you.
Yeah, Mahesh has been there.
Admankar.
Yeah, brother.
Yes, Mahesh, please go ahead.
You're able to hear, right?
Yes, clear, loud and clear.
Yeah, brother. Thanks for really inspiring discussion so far. My question is direct. Often, for people coming from, let's say, the caste oppressed backgrounds, such as us, right? In US, we face, at least I faced a dilemma whenever we meet non-Indians or the American-born professors or staff leadership in the organizations. Is it okay to tell them about our journey? And because what happens is there are all these Indian privileged rich kids, and they'll put us with them on the same. They think everyone is like a person of color, immigrant, whatever that identity, right? So at least in the university system, among the faculty, I found they're more welcoming, but I'm not very sure in the private sector. How does it work? Can we talk about our journey? Can we talk about the difference of these so-called immigrants and people of color?
See, I wouldn't say anything that will put you in a risk, okay? You just have to, calculate where you are, what circumstances and what. But I would always err on the side of, you have a beautiful story. You should tell. This is America. Come on. A land of freedom and opportunities and equality and so many good things. So you would, these are the things people appreciate it. Okay, these are the things. Even I wouldn't say, I wouldn't put all these Indian privileged kids are bad people. Don't say that either. Okay, people are sympathetic. People are understand. So there will be hardcore bad people, but I would err on the side of positive and share in a positive manner. Okay, when see you have to fight when you have to fight, and you have to pick your battles. Don't fighting means every little argument, or you have to have a proper context and time. You have to fight for justice. You have to fight for your rights. You have to stand up for, you have to do it. But again, it's a judgment call. Not go into an inappropriate, there's no context, then there's not a good idea. Then it becomes a cheap. One thing I can tell you, anybody coming from this, especially caste oppressed sections, have a moral right. Okay, you are on the top of pedestal, but don't do any actions which belittle that. Please, I have seen you have to use it the right time, right context. You're in a morally very high pedestal. Use that, but not every use it like for something you have done a bad as an individual, something, and then you start using caste is a wrong thing. Okay, you have done bad, your behavior was not correct, or you did, then don't use caste. It's like our politicians use, they only remember when they are treated badly in the party, then they start about it. Until then, they will be praising their bosses, right? So this is the same thing I would recommend. You fight when there is an appropriate time, but it's all a judgment call. There is a time, and the context.
So let me comment here, Mahendra again. So you have to use the things in the right context. Without context, it becomes meaningless.
Meaningless. So sometimes belittles our great cause. It belittles. Okay.
Yeah.
Please. Yeah.
So Americans are a great lover of freedom, and they cannot digest this kind of things that untouchability used to be or is happening in India. But they get appalled, astonished, like how it is possible that human can be treated like that. So you cannot talk these things in the office, basically. But like suppose, I'll give you an example. Suppose you are involved with the Ambedkar movement. Then in that context, you can introduce Ambedkar to them and tell the story of Ambedkar. And along with that, you can also give few examples from your life. So that way, indirectly, you can tell. But not like kind of complaining way.
Yeah, give a story. Yeah. Okay, that's a beginning. Good way to begin. Tell your story in the context.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah, but introduce Ambedkar to them, what he did.
Yes.
And then you can tell the story.
Narayana, yeah, next one. Narayana Garu. Narayana, Siddharla. Please, brother, please go ahead.
Brother Narayana.
Hey, Manna. Now, first, congratulations for your great achievements. From beginning, I don't know much. I learned a lot from you. So, secondly is thank you for sharing your entire journey, and it is really inspiration for me. And also, I'm going to share your story to my daughters. They are side by side, they are listening, and then
yeah, you should.
Yeah, and
for them, sky is the limit. Tell them that sky is the limit in this country. Okay. Yeah.
And I don't have much questions. I just want to ask you, which book inspired you? Kanchailai Garu wrote. He told that I just want to read that book and give it to my daughters. He's a very good person. So I want to know the book name and I want to read that book.
No. See, your daughters unfortunately may not be able to relate to that book now. Okay. I think we should introduce them, because this was why I am not a Hindu, basically, right?
Okay.
Yeah, but I think they need see, for us, we can directly relate to it. It writes all the village things, what happens, it touches you. So for your kids, I think it's not the right book to introduce. We can talk how to introduce them to some of I mean, you can start with Gail Ambed's Ambedkar autobiography, which is a very small and maybe
what is the
Gail, see, the only good, small, very good autobiography written, not autobiography, by Gail, Gail, Gail Ombed, Omvedt. She's the one who has written. I have the book in my library. So that would be probably, it's a very nicely written. So that book, I don't know whether it's available here, but try to, I actually, it could be a
I'm
PDF
sharing the link
also now.
Yeah,
that I would ask them to read that first. Okay. Yeah.
Okay, no, sure. Thank you, Anna. It was really.
The other book would be to know more about religion and all. You can also read Why I'm Not a Hindu.
Yeah, if they're a little bit matured and they have understanding that, then they can read that. But right now, I think
Gail
the kids cannot relate to it. Yeah, we can. You read it, you can relate to it 100%. Yeah.
Thank you, Anna. Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay. Next, Dr. Poshan.
Thank you.
Please go ahead.
Yeah, please. Thank you. Am I audible?
So, Brother Poshan, where are you these days? Are you in UK or in India?
A bit of both, brother. Because of my parents' health, I'm doing a lot of commuting here and there, and trying to balance things out in both personal, family, as well as professional.
Yeah. Good to see you. Yeah.
Thank you, brother. I still remember vividly that that talk you gave in 2015 in Sphero's convention, annual convention, and still
in Mahbubnagar you were there.
I was online. I was.
Okay.
I was co-speaker, but since I came to know lot more about you in GNF and so on. But thank you, Anna. It is very, very nice to hear your story. That's very, very nice to hear. I have a couple of questions, or maybe I think the same theme what my other brothers have raised before, but let me be specific. I feel that, as you rightly said, that we are in the top of the pedestal. We are
morally we have a great position. Nobody can touch us, right? And especially those who came first generation and went through their parents, especially the Dalits, have a huge high moral pedestal, and sometimes our people belittle that's where I said, bloody fight from that point of view. Nobody can touch you. That's what I would say. Morally.
Yes. My maybe wanted to know your insights and experience and the wisdom, wise comments on this. Is that we work very hard to reach these stages, and like everyone, And I just wanted to know what your thoughts on. There are lots of still people who are struggling even in 2023, just like Payal Tadvi in Maharashtra, this committed suicide. IITs, recently in Warangal. I would err with the caution about the Warangal suicide, not the caste angle, but I feel, they are the gems of our community who work out hard to reach that stage. My heart goes, because to lose them after that struggle that they reached there. My question to you is about, I think, we have a conditioning mind that to accept the the injustice rather than fighting for it, maybe because of many other reasons. How can we improve that in fighting for our rights at your individual as well as in a group level, at their where they study? I know there's some work has been done, after Praveen sir came in, Sferu Students Union, which we have been mentoring some of them from medical students and, at different colleges here to support them mentally and to stand up for their rights. At least give them a confidence that you are much bigger than what you think you are at this stage. And the other question I wanted to ask you that I know opportunity that makes a big difference. The same person growing up in India studying is different from compared to your sons and daughters who have grown up in US. As a community or as a GNF, what can we do to improve that, to remove their difficulties at a stage where they're ending their lives, which is extremely sad, and we think we should do something about. I think I picked up some of the things you mentioned, Nalanda University, that Mr. Anup, that from JNU that you mentioned. Is there anything that we can do or we should do more than what we are doing? Thank you.
No, it's you're absolutely right. People like us came up, but so many of people still without opportunity. And when you hear these type of suicides, one an individual coming all the way to IIT, you can only imagine the struggles they might have gone through if they are really first generation. I mean, it's just mind-boggling. And then we lose them. Such a bright kid. They must be very, very bright and very, very valuable citizens of our country and our communities. So my heart goes. So I mean, I don't know one answer there. I mean, we all have to organize, like we have done in America. Just imagine what Raja Ramanna was saying. I used to think I'm alone, but even though we're still minority or very small numbers, if you're given the Indian mainstream organizations and mainstream activities and communities, but we should not shy away from organizing ourselves wherever we are, small or big. At least now we have numbers, and it will only critical mass we will reach at certain time. We can turn ready the whole power structure. We need to, and we are in one of the best times of imagine even our father's generation, right? So we people like us have to do it, and there is no other. Don't how much ever the governments do this, that. Right now there are, I'll tell you, the UPA government, when they wanted to introduce OBC reservation, their election, they passed a bill. How much it took 2 to 5 years struggle to get it done, even though the power government is there. Means there is, of course, political power can do a lot of things quickly, but we are so far away from that. We are seeing how Mayawati, and if she had gone and become prime minister, things would have, lot of things could have been done much easier. But even then, how do you change these faculty that is entrenched in these higher education institutions, purely Brahmanical people? I go to IS, it's not any dominant caste, it is Brahmins that dominate these institutions, okay? And it takes time, and the only way I would say is, wherever you are, don't stop it at this age and time, with so much support system that at least we can come together like this. Wherever you are, you should start organizing, okay? And help our needy people, stand up for injustice, I mean, against injustice. That's the only way we can do it. We need a lot more people coming forward to stand up. Everyday life, okay? It's not one day you come and do and it's over. No, it's just it's a burden on us in some, but also responsibility for the people who have come out of this, okay? And we are living our lives, and we are with all the blessings of our ancestors' struggles, we are enjoying the luxuries, right? We have reservations, we have good education, whatever. I mean, that our parents and our ancestors could not have it. I mean, if you start complaining, you can complain that I didn't have that, we didn't have. But in spite of all that, we are now here. We are, living much better life than our ancestors, and we should not wait to organize and start, working, giving back to our communities. Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you, and I think that's answered my question. And again, it's not a what do you call it? Maybe may request Venkatana and all others. If please, if you come to India, or if you visit your parents, and if just a single visit to the school for even for 5 minutes, really make a big. I think not directly, but indirectly, that there's someone that I can look up to. I think that's
the role models, right? We lacked role models in our generation, but at least now we could be role models for our next generation, right, Anna? Right? You said
thank
right.
you, Anna. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Next, Lakshman garu. Lakshman, unmute yourself.
Anna, Lakshman Nakka.
Nakka. Are you there, Lakshman? Okay. Babu Rao.
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay,
I'm
sure.
here.
Yeah, welcome.
Yeah.
Anna, show your face. Namaste. I didn't know you. Face Zubetu. You should show your face. Yeah. No, speak in English. I think we have.
English.
Yeah, please speak in English.
Yep.
Babu, without face, how? Face ledantu know.
Yeah. So yesterday I connected with one of my villager. Okay, so things are after having a 1 hour plus conversation with him on the phone. It's really heartfelt situation.
Yeah.
Okay, so what's going on? I mean, what kind of theory or system the politicians are establishing in India? Okay, so he's a BC Padmashali guy. 7th grade completed.
Yeah.
Okay, he married and had 2 kids. He don't know about his reservation capabilities.
Oh my God.
But he's talking to take up the SC/ST's reservation.
This is the sad part of it, Anna. Very sad. These guys are very
bad. And what he's talking is, after Modi, Indians are getting great. What? What?
Anna, I think we talk how much ever we talk less about them, it's better, okay?
No. See, my worries here is he's staying in Behran as a labor.
Yeah.
Okay. And after all these things, after all these discussions and all, I tried to, explain him as much as I can. After all these things, again, surprise thing, he shared one video of Hamara Prasad. I was literally mind blown. What is going on with all these guys?
No. See, this phenomenon, unfortunate thing, being, I hate one category except for reservation. When they say BC Rajadhikaram, this, that, I completely reject it, okay? The whole notion of, these backward classes are only for reservation. It's a constitutional term. There is nothing else homogeneity among the BCs. And the problem is some of them behave who are a little bit, there's a big spectrum because it's a 50% plus population. And one side you have people who are, even, these nomads and Erukala type of people who are they're BCs technically, but their lives are even worse than some of the Dalits, okay? On the other side, you have people, some of these, Munnur Kapu, even our communities, some of them actually education is there, not wealth, but education they are able to get through. Padmashalis, Munnur Kapu, especially I'm talking in Telugu land, and of course in North, these Yadavs and all this. So they behave like any dominant caste people, okay? And this is the very, very, very sad part. And I don't know. That's why I never believed in when this PC Rajadikaram. I always believed in a Kanshiram ideology of to get a faster transformation of our country. I want the most oppressed people to lead, like Dalits. People like us, and we should work under the leadership of scheduled caste. Nobody else deserves to be the leader and ruling than SCs. They have to take the lead, and everybody should work under that. That is the way we can achieve faster transformation, because wherever even Yadavs came to power, they did atrocities on SCs. In Tamil Nadu, some of the BC communities came, they did atrocities on Dalits. So this is a never-ending phenomena, okay? So unless we tilt the power structure, okay, and that's what Kanshiram did, and I'm 100% believer in that, and I believe that people should, SC should take the lead, and everybody should work under it. That's the way to achieve transformation, but unfortunately, that movement is fizzling out. It's not going anywhere. So sad. What you said, today's BJP is all the muscle power is coming from this type of so-called backward class. Okay, no Brahmin goes on the field and does anything. They will be there behind the scenes, and these type of half-educated, not educated people are being brainwashed. And this is a very sad development. Unfortunately, the only way, the only way to counter is Ambedkarism.
They don't.
The Hindutva ideology. Only way to counter is Ambedkarism. Okay.
They don't know their roots. I asked, do you know Mahatma Phule?
No. Come on, these guys, where will they know about?
They don't even know anything, and they are talking about, hey, we have to change the constitution of India. What?
No idea. I know. It's BJP, RSS are very successful in brainwashing. About 20 to 25% of Indian population now radicalized. Okay. And that is what is their core, and we need to counter it with Ambedkarism. That is the only way to counter them.
So we'll go to next question.
Yep.
Yeah. So Babu Rao Garu, can you hear us? Unmute yourself.
Dr. Babu Rao.
Dr. Babu Rao.
Yes.
Please go ahead.
Thank you, Andy. Thank you, Andy, and thank you, Venkat, for taking time and encouraging all of us. And I just want to let you guys know how Venkat is helping here in Boston area. Every community, not only SC, ST, BC, or includes Muslims, Sikhs, and Christians. I am from Christian background.
Okay.
And I know Venkat, I met in 2006, one of our Vidyasagar Rao Telangana movement time. He came and we had a conference in MIT. And after that, I lost his connection. I never involved in Telangana movement or anything, but I met him just 1.5 years ago, last year, during one of the conference. And I immediately recognized, I know Venkat, you are. And then we had a discussion, and a couple of times we met, and he said, Babu Rao, your guys are a lot of people here, around 20% in the US, Christian communities. But you guys don't come together, and you guys don't have any voice. And he encouraged me. Then I brought up my leadership. One day we had a meeting with Venkat in the restaurant, and he encouraged everyone, and we inspired every leader in my fellowship. Everyone inspired, and let's do it. We can call everyone, like at least in our Massachusetts and New Hampshire and Connecticut, And we connected like 38 groups of Christians from Kerala, Tamil, Telangana, Andhra Pradesh, and North India. And we did one Indian Christian Day, July 2nd, on July 2nd this year. And 24 groups came. And that was a big thing in our Christian community in this country. And everyone is surprising. Like every pastor comes, we tell this story, and everyone's surprising. How come you guys did? How you guys got this vision? And I always tell, this is my Venkat, my friend.
No. That is, I was a small thing.
But that small thing, the seed is important, Venkat. And I just want to let everyone know how you are inspiring and encouraging everyone in this area. Thank you once again, Venkat.
That's wonderful.
No, see, that is what Dr. Poshan, brother, I was telling, educate, agitate, organize, right? That is the way we have to be. We have now, not like, Ambedkar came, one person went back, one person, right? He is, where was this? But we have numbers now. We have, like I said, this generation, we're blessed. Just imagine, and Dr. Babu Rao, excellent story. He's a scientist in one of the lead company. He was at Carnegie Mellon University, and he studied at Hyderabad Central University, and his parents are illiterate. Okay. So just imagine the change in our quality and lifestyle that achieved. And unless we organize, I mean, where is the hope, right? And we have second to none, like Dr. Babu Rao. I know a couple of scientists here. We have a lot of scientists. He stands out among them also. Okay. So, when you are in that position, let's try to, organize and give back. Okay. And that is what they have done wonderful here. And you should take the lead. I have been telling our friends in DC and all that. 24 to 28 Christian organizations of Indian origin, they met. And it was such a wonderful meeting, okay? And our Telugu friends like Babu Rao, Abraham, Ernest Garu, Vinay Vikas, they are the ones who took the lead for the entire. So
thank you, Venkat.
Babu Rao, go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
So imagine the power of that, I learned all this from Telangana movement when we used to have, 10 people, we used to go out in Harvard Square, make a little video and send it. That was a huge thing. I'll tell you one story. When Y.S. Rajshekhar Reddy, only once he visited, he didn't want to do anything with America because he was going again completely, agriculture, rural, that. So he never wanted to really visit. So he visited once to attend an agriculture conference in St. Louis. Okay. So he just came for 2 days. And he didn't want to do anything with any Telugu organizations. But these guys is coming, if you don't do something, how, especially the ATA guys, right? They're all Reddies, So what they did is, you guys should know this, Chicago airport, he was landing, and St. Louis, he will be going. What they did is, he didn't accept anything, but these guys lobbied and said, right next to that airport, they set up, there are big hotels, right? We'll do only in that hotel, they arranged a meeting. Okay. And our people went and jammed the Chicago airport. So this is the culture of our community. I loathe. It was horrible. They ended up, I don't know, people go there to see him, it's just so ridiculous. But I'll tell you, the important thing is, that time, of course, it was decided, when they first came, if anybody recall 2004 election, when Chandrababu Naidu defeated, YSR became, actually TRS was an ally. It was part of the government. They went election together. They formed the government together. It was a UPA. But of course, YSR slowly fizzled it out, and it was decided he's not giving. So it became a very anti. So I'll tell you, they did $2 million felicitation ceremony in a 5-star hotel. And that time we just broke away from this this TDF, and we were in the process of forming an organization. Okay, and those guys are all friends because ATA is all Reddys. So the Telangana Reddys don't want to protest. See, Telangana, even though they were fighting for Telangana, they didn't want to protest YSR. Okay, but we took the charge. We are very few people. In Chicago, we had a very good organization that time supporting us. We came out of, right? But what happened is, you're talking 2007, these fellows are so strong in ATA, if you know anybody. In Telangana, they have in Chicago is the main base. So they called, this is the things you guys have to understand. Each and every, we had a lot of people like H1s. We are very, very, young. That time, not any settled people who are established wouldn't support us. Okay. And these guys called when we planned a protest. Telangana Reddys only called and threatened, saying that, "Are Imra, mir Chicago la protest chestara, evarra miru?" Ante we have seen the language that you hear in the villages, but we did not give up. Okay, I'll tell you. So there are 50-60 people we organized, but everybody dropped. Only there were 5 to 6 people from Chicago. Then my brother from Detroit, he drove another 5 people. And I think one person came from Wisconsin. There were 12, 13 people, okay? That fellow, they did a $2 million felicitation in the hotel, and these guys hold a black, flags, and that newspaper is still there. And they, YSR, they basically, they had this big, what do you call, the banner. The next day in Hindu, that time, 2007, we don't even have a lot of YouTube or anything. In Hindu paper, that was one of the popular thing, came as Bricks and Bouquets Street YSR. That was the headline. So the reason I'm saying is, and then whole Telangana activists were like so happy, because this YSR became so powerful. They came out of the government, UPA, just dozen people. That this is the thing. When you are in America, when you are abroad, you have so much power. Okay, even few people, you organize yourself, you have a much stronger voice. That it became a historic. Those 12 people, what they did is become a historic thing in one of the, that's the only place he was protested, just a handful of people. So that's what I want to tell. Okay.
Very nice. So we'll finish up. Dr. Reba Ambedkar.
Anna, he was just here at Brandeis conference. He just went back yesterday.
Oh.
Anna Ambedkar, yeah, you speak out.
Sir, are you there?
Yeah, I'm there.
Okay, please.
Show your face, Anna. Show your face.
Yeah, I'm just.
I don't know. So many people are not showing faces, Anna.
Please show your face.
No, it's okay. When you're speaking, at least you should show, right? Yeah.
Yeah. One second. I'm just.
Yeah, his first name is Ambedkar, okay? It's okay. Yeah.
I'm clear.
Yeah, very clear.
Yeah. Good morning to all. Here it is good evening for us. And it is very happy to join this program. First of all, thanks to the organizers. And thank you, Anna. Thank you, Dr. Venkat Anna, because the way we were not taking care, we can never forget in our life. Anna, it is really inspiring to hear from you, Anna, how you came to this position. You are really continuing the legacy of your parents. You are saying in your talk that your parents were not taking care of all the guests that are coming, and you are
that all came from my parents only.
Yes.
Anna Ramalanna is there coming. Anna, good to see you.
Yeah.
Professor Ramulu is Anna. Everybody should know Professor Ramulu Anna.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hello, Ramulu garu.
And the way even
Ramulu garu, namaskaram sir.
Namaste.
Yeah.
Bagunnara?
Yeah, bagunnandi.
Good to see you, Anna.
Brother, please go ahead.
Thank you.
Rabab.
Yeah.
Ambedkar, brother.
And really the legacy is continues, and how Anna and Vijay take care of us during our visit there. Anna, your qualifications like getting a bachelor's admission, engineering admission in Usmania University, those days where we are having only 7 government colleges in United Andhra, and that too, and after that passing out from there, you had gone to Indian Institute of Science. That's such an premier institute, even for this day also for an engineering graduating a master's from Indian Institute of Science is a very great thing. And also subsequently your PhD in USA, you had worked very closely with NASA Institute, and also Anna, you're getting an MBA from Premier Institute, MIT. Anna, your scholarship, fellowship, and experience and working on rural economy, Indian microeconomics is really commendable, Anna. I had been seeing your brochure, and it's really, Anna, it is helping a lot of people, especially the agricultural in the rural sector, Anna. And Anna, I can really see that you were a role model and one of the main persons for organizing for formation of Telangana state through your NRI movement at America. And also, Anna, you're spreading the Ambedkar ideology in the United States is really great. Anna, you're a top player, Anna.
Question.
1 second, I'm just finishing. I'm finishing.
Question.
Yeah, Anna. Your support through Boston Study Group as well as Ambedkar International Center, we are really seeing it, and making all the Christian organizations together. You are saying in your approximately 23 organizations are being together. Anna, I don't have any
didn't do it. I just
motivated
them. I didn't do anything. For poor guys, they have done it. I was just catalyst, just encourage them. That's all. I was.
You are really following Baba Sahib ideology by educate, organize, and agitate and organize, and also you are ensuring payback to society, your time, talent, and reserve. That's all. I don't have any questions, and it is very impressive. And
thank you.
It is very inspiring, and really thank you.
He came for
really
Ambedkar came to the Brandeis conference, so he was here a couple of days with me. Yeah. Thank you, Anna. Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you, Anna.
The next one is journalist Dayagar. Please unmute yourself. Yeah. Please go ahead, sir.
Please go ahead.
Anna, namaste.
Namaste. No. So I'm sorry, brother. Please can you introduce yourself? Yeah.
I'm Mr. Bumesh Daya. Rai Murli sir Marangal recently.
Okay. Got it. Yeah. And so you're working with Murli sir in SDF, Social Democratic Forum?
Yeah.
Okay. Go ahead, please. Speak in English because we have some people who may not be understanding Telugu.
Yeah. So it is a good, very inspiration talk, Anna. So actually, you have been from IISc Bangalore. So you was talking about the Agraharam, this faculty, So I heard that this Agraharam they have dumped again in US in prestigious universities. So in your experience, did you face, in India today in premier institutions, they call premier institutions, but many of these oppressed communities are facing very, unseen harassment, especially research scholars. So did you face such kind of incidents while you was doing your research? And also now, what is the difference at that time and this time? If such kind of incidents happen, so what is the relief there? So is there any relief? Speak on that.
Yeah, see, like I said, I told about my PhD experience. That time, I was doing really well in my academics. So never ever had to, face anything like that. Okay. The only thing one day I told you, like 1 year into my PhD program, one of these, my friend who comes from dominant community was really shocked that I was I got admission and reservation in my engineering college that he couldn't believe, because that's actually one incident, but of course I took it in a very positive way, and I gave him a strong yes. I said I am from reservation, and so then the only thing I can relate is, of course, in this Telangana movement when I worked, that's when I felt, some of these organizations I interacted, I felt very, 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 very bad actually, the way they do it. Okay, that's when I really became an Ambedkarite. I hated those circumstances and how you are treated when you go to these conventions or nonsense organizations. Okay, but I'll tell you, when I studied my MIT Sloan Fellows program, where I got my MBA, it's a 110, little more than 110 students cohort. Okay, and there are people coming from all over the world, to study this. Half of them came from outside United States. Okay, so and then there are about 10 Indian students. Indians means they are from US, and one or two people came from India, and one guy came from Singapore, but it's Indian origin, and most of them are like second generation. Nobody was born and brought up in US, but they all came like me. So I'll tell you, in that composition, you'll be shocked. About 10, just one is one I don't know that his caste. Okay, it's non-veg, and I know he's from Kerala, but rest of them all are Brahmins. One guy is a Gupta, is a Banya. So 10 out of 10, 7 Brahmins, 1 Banya, and one I don't know him. I don't know his caste, but just 2. So this is how Brahmins, 7 out of 10 Brahmins. Okay, so this is very common. Okay, when you, especially you go to very elite schools here, yeah, you will see this. So there, by then I was very, very deeply involved in Telangana movement, some level of Ambedkarite activities. So I never ever, I had a big discussions, and I, of course, I was, this is the thing, right? When I went to Usmania University also, I went like almost at the bottom when I entered. So that was very, very difficult to get into and, overcome that challenge and that inferiority complex, all that in Usmania. But even when I went to MIT, I was in the middle. I was no less than anybody. Okay, I mean, there were some really successful senior people. There were many people, who were not that successful also but I was right in the middle in, my qualifications, my whatever degrees, everything. I was right in the middle. So I never had to feel, and then I academically, I did really well also, even in my MBA, but nobody cares about academics at that level. So I never had to face, but I was very vocal and open because I already had that level of confidence. I was an activist. So I had huge discussions with my team. I used to openly tell my other classmates about caste system and everything. So this was a different experience I have, but I wouldn't say, everybody will have that level of, guts or this thing. And sometimes you will be.
Sorry to interrupt, Anas.
Yeah, please go ahead.
Yeah, but sorry to interrupt you. Do we face such kind of incidents nowadays? I mean, especially from the Indian origin faculty.
No, now everybody knows my full on the face. So see, I go to.
Yeah, one more thing, Anna.
Now nobody even dare to talk to me anything because I am all over the place. I am an Ambedkarite. Okay, everybody knows. So there is no question of somebody.
No, not you. Not you. The youngsters who are coming there to pursue their education.
Oh, yeah. That happens. That happens. Oh my God. Especially, I feel sorry. I mean, my heart goes to our, especially Dalit brothers and sisters. Some people outrightly, if they find out they in the, you are in a community, you are in a school or something, once they found out, sometimes they try to alienate them. I've seen so many incidents in America. It's very common. And then I'll tell
So
you,
for that,
I'm not
any relief,
speaking in a
any
very
relief
big way,
is
but
there
my
for them?
kids, because I was very vocal and I'm very thing. And when I was at MIT, one of my classmates was in the same town where my kids go to school, and he's a Tamil Brahmin, and they had their no network. And my kids go to school here, and they used to go to Kuman. Some of you know Kuman. Okay, there one Tamil Brahmin lady was there, and she outrightly discriminated my kids. Okay. That happened. They're young age, but they had bad experiences, but we educated them and all that.
For such kind of incidents, is there any relief, official relief like that?
See,
for such
I
kind of
mean, the
incidents
problem with most of these are they happen in subtle
have
way,
here
very subtle
SCSP
way.
atrocity, such kind
Yeah, to get to a legal or any course, it just doesn't happen in a overt way. Most of these happens in a very, very subtle way and very difficult to take it, But we have some of these incidents like Cisco, you have seen, Cisco case. Have you heard about Cisco case?
Yes, of course.
Yeah, so that level when the
Yeah,
bubble up, you can have a fight. But day-to-day life for some of the people, it could become very, very bad. Actually, I've seen it because our people are outright racist, outright casteist. They are like the values in a mainstream Indian diaspora, the value system they teach their kids, they're superior, they're better value, they're better culture, all this nonsense they put these kids, okay? And it has very bad implications. Yeah.
Okay. Very nice, sir. Thank you so
One
much.
thing is one thing is very unfortunate, Anna, that we don't take admission through reservation there in overseas.
Yes, that's one. Of course.
Yeah.
That's well-known topic. Yes.
We go in merit. We go in merit. Still, these people are making such kind of nonsense.
No, Anna, see, the only way what you have to do is you cannot control how these other guys are behaving, right? You can only control your action. The way to overcome is, again, I say, you build your own structures. You build alternate voice. You build alternate narrative, alternate discourse about India. I'll tell you, when I first, attended my MIT class, they just do some mixing and all that, okay? This guy, one Tamil Brahmin, he became a good friend later. I mean, he's still a good friend, but I'll tell you, this fellow started talking. We have to talk about our education system of our country and the women empowerment. You have to put it in a scale, just to teach these Americans, and then they have to. They designed it for interaction and learning about different. So this fellow starts saying, "Oh, we have one of the best schools in the world. Okay, best education system in the world," and then he says, "Everybody speaks English." And I'm sitting right there, and I was like laughing, and then after he finished, "Which India are you talking about?" I said. It is such a farthest from the truth. I went to a school, when there's rain, there's no school. Okay, even today we have a lot of them. See, my Jilla Parishad was in a rented house. It was horrible. Rain, there is no school. Okay, so and then English. I couldn't speak English. Okay, when I went to college, you're talking everybody speaks English. So which India are you in?
That's correct.
I'm telling you. So this is the narrative of this mainstream India. So we have to build our narrative. We have to build alternate narrative, which is truth, which is on the people's side, which is on the peoples of oppressed. That is the only way to overcome, Yeah, you cannot change those guys easily.
Easily, yes. So iPhone SE.
Thanks a lot,
brother.
Thanks.
Brother, yeah,
Thanks
thank you.
For your information.
Sure. So who is iPhone SE, brother? Do you know?
Yeah, this is me. This is me, Raju Naik here.
Okay.
Raju Naik,
yes.
brother. So you're in the bus now?
Yeah, we are in the bus. Yes. Yeah. Thank you so much for giving such a wonderful experience.
Yeah.
What's the question, brother?
Question is, I just wanted to say that it's not only here in the US. Whenever he comes to India, I think I don't know how he manages his time. He comes to the he visits the he tries to engage with all the Muslim communities, whoever it could be. I'm just asking whether he feels that why I should visit these people in his mind. Sometimes when he asks to come and visit our university schools, I don't know how he manages. In spite of his schedule, he comes for a couple of days. Yeah.
So how you manage your schedule and help so many apart from your professional life?
Thanks to Vijaya.
Yeah.
See, I was supposed to go some event. I just skipped now.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
No. See, I'll tell you, Raju, brother, and everybody, please, it is an individuals. I think we have only few people now.
Yes.
See, one thing is, every human being is a selfish guy. Okay. That is, you like to do things that you do want to do things that you like to do. You can put them in different buckets, or somebody sacrifice this is all this. I don't believe in, especially the sacrifice and all that. It's just, I think you do things that you like to do. Okay. That's it. It's your choice. So you're not bloody doing something. So you always, Raju brother, always find time for things that you like to do. Okay? But I'll tell you, there are occasions I don't like to do something, even a small thing, it becomes a huge task, and you'll find all excuses not to do it. Okay. So it's a matter of, the people say, oh, in America, people are busy. Such a bullshit thing. Okay. Everybody has 24 hours. Okay. In this world. It is just because he's saying busy means, or he, she, they don't like to do that. Okay. They do other things. Okay. Right. So that's all I can say. And sometimes it happens, the conflict, hard conflict. You have a very important personal thing, you have something to do. It happens occasionally, but most of the time, you are free to, of course, I would say you need extremely understanding spouse. Okay. That without that, you can't do anything. I'm telling you.
Sure.
You're just shut down. Okay. See, Vijaya now just left. As I was talking, I was supposed to go with her to, there's one, Dhamma Chakra Pravartan in our Boston study group, not study group, but our friends are organizing today, and I just missed it. That's okay. So this is what happens. And so those, you need extremely, understanding spouse, and you do things that are, in your capacity. And, in a way, sometimes you're blessed to have this freedom to do what you want to do, travel, this, you can spend money, those are luxuries we have, and we want to use it. Okay.
Sure. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much, sir. Rajaram Garu, you're back into question.
Yeah, Raju, quick, go.
Just gave him to Ramu sir, Professor Ramu sir. And one big question that how people are allowing women back at home or in the US are attending this kind of talks. And
your voice
I am
is not
having
clear,
difficulty. Am I hearing you? Yeah.
So we can't hear you, brother.
Well.
Okay.
Yeah.
Rajaram Garu, I think you raised I think you want to come back to the question, or we can just close. Anna is speaking for a very long time. We asked him
no question. No,
I'm okay. I'm okay.
Okay,
But
sure.
everybody is also there. So actually, everybody here, I want to introduce Dr. Ramalu, Professor Ramalu. Most of you probably know. Some of you may not know, but he's a great role model for me. Since I know Anna's, I would say late 2000s. Okay, I think. And he happens to come from Jangam. Okay.
All Jangam.
Janagam is a famous. Janagam is a famous.
International.
And I think some of you know Anna has an amazing story. You know, that's what I mean. People like us, we didn't struggle while growing up, but people like Anna, you know, almost grew up as an orphan. And today, he has, like I said, Usmania Engineering, went to IIT Delhi, University of Washington, PhD, and now he's been a faculty. It's one of the top school, and he achieved, because I also did PhD and I know a little bit academics. He achieved top of any academician in America can achieve. I forgot. He's a young presidential investigator awardee in the first batch where he was in the White House. You know, the president, that time, Anna, Bill Clinton or George Bush? You're muted. You're muted.
You're
Anna.
muted.
Can you hear?
Yes. Is that George Bush, right, Anna?
Yeah, George Bush Senior. Yeah, I think Reagan time I got it, and but I think November to January new.
The senior George Bush. Time. So it is not a small achievement. Actually, Anna's story is such an inspiring journey. I cannot believe it. This Anna and Dr. Devaya Garu also. He also happened to be from Jangam.
No.
I mean, these two are outstanding, especially for the marginalized communities. So Anna, you want to say quick few words, Anna?
No, I think anyhow, I prefer to, people should know how much you dedicated. That's most important to me. Okay. But I think somebody asked about when you come to this country, did you feel discriminated? Hey, look, మనం చదువుకున్నది అక్కడ ఏం రాస్తారు ఎం రాములు. In my case, ఎం రాములు. What is my ఎం రాములు? I tell you, Indian community, they were digging my background.
I know.
Okay. They don't, because they don't know. I think ikkadunna community, whatever in my Seattle area, they used to ask, మీ ఇంటి పేరేంటండి? Okay. ఇంటి పేరు ఉంటే దెన్ కులం పట్టొచ్చు. This is the historical, because Andhra region నుంచి actually that's the way it is. But Telangana, Yadaya, Istari, Ramulu, common names. These common names. So can initial మనం surname ఉంది initial, but
we don't use the last name, full last name.
ఎంత అధ్వానం అంటే that is a torture. I think somebody asked me, Venkat, నిన్ను ఈ విషయం. I think it is a torture. I went through it actually.
I know. They do it.
So I wrote a letter to a friend of mine. That guy published in the one newspaper in Nizamabad area, exactly as it is. I wrote it. Agony of how these people.
Really, Anna? Do you have that? Can you?
Yes.
About this, how? No. Please share that. So you wrote about how people are trying to find out your caste, right? Please share that.
I think that you should share in this group. I think.
Yeah. That will be a big testament of you know.
Because of course everybody gone through this one, but you address it nicely. I think. We want to see.
Yeah, I think it is very, very sad. So just one of the gentlemen asked this question to you. I just want to let him know. Hey, ఇక్కడ స్మూత్ గా అడుగుతారు. స్మూత్ గా, ఎందుకంటే తిట్ట పొర తిట్టక పట్టక లొట్టలు బుసికినట్టు. That's what they did to keep you down. Okay, keep you down. So that is their attitude. Attitudes అనేటి ఇప్పటికి కూడా మాట్లాడతారని లిబరల్ గా మాట్లాడతారు. కానీ when it comes to this point, still born racist in my book. Indians are
open discrimination. They do it without any hesitation.
So I just want to say that part. Just
sorry. Actually, Andy, you should do with Ramulanna next.
Sure. Fantastic.
You should.
I'll reach out to him.
No. It's an amazing story. We can do justification in a short time, but we should do it.
Sure.
I think let us entertain other people who is asking question. I prefer,
Okay.
I think how much you dedicated, how strong and Ambedkarite you are. I think that's most important to me. Please.
Yeah, you are being role model, Anna. You.
No, thank you. That's nice of you. But I think most important is I prefer other people to know. మన మైండ్ ఎట్లుంటదంటే వీడు ఎందుకు చేస్తున్నాడు రా, వీడికి ఏదో ఉన్నది అనుకుంటారు. అందు గురించి
how many people think I will be contesting? And that is the last. I said I'll contest if any change in politics happen, like politics for change. I don't mind, but otherwise there is no point in
Yeah. But I just wanted to make sure. I think let them ask.
Especially,
it's good. It is a good lesson for others. Yeah.
Yes. Andy,
thank you.
Andy, I think next time definitely we should put Professor
Raman.
I will reach out to him.
No, it's very example, very exemplary. Now he is a distinguished professor, such a renowned university.
Oh, no. He's actually all the things if you start telling him, it's an amazing story. Yeah.
Where he started, where he is now, that is very inspirational generations.
No,
I will reach out to sir and I will find out his time and
I'll give you the number, Andy. Yeah.
Okay, sir.
Anna, how is your health? I think we can close now, right, Andy?
Yeah, we can.
Yeah.
If you
okay.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
Yeah, Daya.
Every week అంటే ఇట్లా ఎగ్జాంపులరీ పర్సన్స్ తోని కండక్ట్ చేసే ప్రయత్నం.
Andy, poor guy has been trying. We have so many other activities. We are distracting him. So we'll give Andy
I will do this.
Poshan also, Dr. Poshan, you should catch him once.
Okay, Dr. Poshan.
From UK, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think probably I'm the last of all,
No. He's a medical
humble.
doctor.
Our people are so humble.
Yeah. So we have those. We have some really great stories among ourselves. Yeah.
Beautiful stories.
I promise to do it, but I'm last of all. Maybe last.
Yeah. So I will. Shall I conclude, sir?
Yeah. You were saying something, Anna, Lakshmana.
Yeah, ఒకటన్నా మన దాంట్లో ఇంత మంది జెమ్స్ ఉండి ఒక లగ్జరీ లైఫ్ ను లీడ్ చేస్తూ, అంటే ఒక కూలీది చేస్తూ.
Anna, Lakshmana, Charudatta cannot understand. Can you speak in English, Anna, please? Yeah.
So our people starting the journey from poorest of the poor, the world famous universities, well educated, luxury life. Still the higher caste idiots will treat as, hey, you guys are reservation guys, you don't have the intellectuality and all these things. When I heard those kinds of words, my BP will raise like anything. Who hell are you talking? You don't know the values of education, but we know.
Yes.
We know we are the intellectuals. We are building nations. We are doing more better things than you idiots doing. So that's
I tell one thing, Anna. See, today we came this far. It doesn't mean our grandfather was not less intelligent. They didn't have opportunity, bloody fellows. Okay, it is not our greatness that we came this far. It is because our fathers and the systems and of course affirmative action country has because they gave us an opportunity we came. It doesn't mean that our ancestors are less intelligent. I never accept that. So bloody fellows, they put us, they denied education, they didn't let people study, and they were oppressed. They kept outside the villages. This is what they did, and so we should never accept that. Yeah, we are second to none. We just have to give opportunity. We have to find a way to give opportunity to our next generation. That's what we have to work on.
Yep. Sure.
Okay, and Charudatta, brother, you've been very quiet. You've been there all through. Say just hello, one word, and then we'll close. Charudatta, brother, are you there?
Hello, brother Charudatta.
Yeah, he's a PhD student at New York University. He's doing some good work. Okay, I think he's missing. Okay, then. Thank you all, JB.
Jai Bhim, Jai
Jai
Bhim.
Bhim to all.
Jai Bhim.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Okay.
Auntie. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay,
You, Anna.
it's
Thank
nice.
you.
Good to see you all.